The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to my show, All Aboard. My name is Donald Whisman, coming to you live right here on Armed Radio. I'm here with Les Skymo. He's going to be helping me host my show tonight. Les, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hello, big world. How are you?
It is a big world. Sometimes it's a small world, though. But, as always, I want to send my prayers out to all the men and women out there serving in our military. And I want to say thank you to all of our country's veterans. Job well done, guys. And also, if you support President Trump or you consider yourself a patriot, please join our Facebook group. It's called Trump 2020 ! But please don't forget that exclamation point. And we will be taking calls tonight, but excuse me, but I would like to hear tonight from some conservative women. So I would really like to hear from some women out there that supports Trump and they're conservatives. The number is 1-800-508-5431. Call us if you've got some good things to say, got some bad things to say. I really don't care. I just like to hear from somebody. You know, like Leso has told me that silence is consent. Now, sorry, you guys, I didn't make my show last week. I had a lot of things going on. I didn't have time to get ready for the show, but I'm back this week. A lot of things going on, Les. A lot of things been going on, and you know that. Well, anyway, the last couple of days, Les, I've been down at the Butler County Fair here in Ohio, helping out at the Republican tent. You can call it Republican tent or the GOP tent. Now, today, Les, I was down there sitting with this real nice lady. Her name is Diane Noonan. She's the director of the Butler County Board of Elections. And we got to talking, Les, and she was telling me about the voter turnout back in May, the primaries in Butler County. Now, Les, it was 15.3%. Now, that's the lowest it's been in Butler County since back in 2006. Embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Really embarrassing. I'm telling you, that's one thing right there. If we don't get out and vote, come November, in the midterm elections, they will win. They will win. There is no excuse for nobody to get out here and vote. You could even send in your vote, absentee ballots. Lest you know that them polls are open. Like you can vote absentee, you can vote early, and on the day of voting, it's set up where you can vote if you work first shift, second shift, or third shift. It's set up where you can vote. Now, there's no reason nobody should vote now. I don't think people should just go out and vote every 4 years in the presidential elections. Vote every year. Our children, our grandchildren, they're going to be the ones that's going to suffer if we conservatives don't act now. We have to act, or they will take this country over. And Lord help us if them Democrats, the people think, well, it's okay, I'll just vote for get Trump back in here in 2020. But Trump can't do anything without the help of all these senators from these other states and these representatives. He needs help, and plus you should worry about your local elections. You should worry about your state elections. It's all important. To me, Les, it is important. What do you think about voting?
Well, brother, they're telling you the truth, Donald. It's pathetic, and the thing about it is, the old saying that how does it go? Your government closest to you
your local
is the
government,
most important,
Yeah.
And but now the thing about it is, Donald, is when the Clintons was running, I remember that it was, oh God, America's were at stake. They're gonna drive us into the ground, which they tried to do. And then along come Obama, and
we got a lot to talk about him tonight too.
Oh Lord, yeah, and both of them done 2 terms. there's 16 years of just grinding this country into powder, and we thought it was the end of the world if Obama got reelected, and Obama, sure enough, he got reelected. And but now, brother, I'm telling you, Donald, this is the most serious it's been in my lifetime.
I've never seen it this bad either, Les. I haven't. And the thing is, Les, when Obama got elected, people like me and you and really the conservative party, they have better morals. They have better values.
Yeah.
So it's imperative. We do not want the Democrats to take this country back over. President Trump, yes, I'm pretty sure that he'll probably win in 2020, but he needs the help of the people in the House and the Senate and these governors and these state senators, these state reps. He needs help from the local level up, you guys. If you're hearing my voice, get out and vote. It's the most patriotic thing. It's not the most patriotic thing you can do, but it's a patriotic act to get out here and vote, and that is speaking up. When you go out here and cast that ballot, that's speaking up. That's raising your voice, and you're making a statement when you vote. So please, when it comes, I think, what is it, November 6th this year, Election Day, the midterm election?
I think so, Donald. Yeah.
Call your family, call your friends, and get them out here to vote like our life is at stake, which it is. And I'm telling you right now, just because I voted for President Trump back in 2016, I've been called a racist. I've been called a Nazi. I've been called a bigot, a xenophobic, a deplorable, an Islamophobic, a sexist, a redneck, uneducated, an idiot. And I'm tired of that. These people, these Democrats, I'll tell you what, I don't want to demean them or anything. I don't hate anyone. I'm just telling you, these people, they defy logic, Les. They run on feeling and emotion. You cannot sit down and have a conversation without one of them cussing you out if you don't agree with their views. And Les, one question for you. What does the Democratic Party, what are they running on this day and time? What is their platform, Les? Do you know the answer to that?
I was getting around to that, Donald. This day and time, this midterm election is a defining moment for the people here in America. They're running on socialism, Donald. They've been leaning that way for a long time. Now they're not trying to hide it. It's just outright socialism. And you look around the world, there's like 4 pillars, 4-legged stool, kind of like, and there's more than that really, but to socialism. The end of socialism is destruction, but it's murder, destruction, gun confiscation, and your confiscation of your freedom and starvation. And they're wanting to bring that to America, Donald. And, that what's her name, Cortez, she's teamed up with Bernie Sanders. He was out in Kansas, had a rally with some more communists out there, and I tell you, brother, if we lose this nation to those people, Donald, what are those of us that wore a uniform and took the oath going to do? Brother, I tell you, there's a lot of self-examination people's going to have to do. These people are enemies to the United States. They're enemies to this Constitution. They classify as enemies, foreign and domestic. And, brother, America, you better wake up. You better get the blinders off, because what we have left of this constitutional republic, Donald, and you've heard me talk about it many times.
Many times.
There's not much left of it, brother. And we have to claw and fight and voice our opinion and vote and do everything to try to sustain what little bit we got left.
Well,
If they take over, Donald, if the American people, if the middle of the road Democrats, if they're blind enough to fall into the hands of these communists, they call them social democrats, that's bull hockey.
They're communists.
There's no such thing. They call themselves socialist democrats. Donald, there's no such thing. It's an oxymoron. That means it does not exist. You're either a Democrat or you're a socialist. I'm going to call them communists, Donald, because
that's a good word.
They want to steal the soul of this country. And, brother, I'm going to fight it tooth and nail, however it has to be done.
You're right, Les, and I'm going to tell you right now, President Trump, when he came along in 2016, he excited the people, not only the rich people, not only the middle class, but he excited the poor people. The poor people came out in masses, and that man got them to vote, and I'll tell you, these elections, from now on out, we need to treat it like President Trump is running in every election, because he's only got so much power with the pen. He's only got so much power with that executive orders. He needs the help of the Congress. He needs their help, Les. We have to send people that's going to go there and help our president get things done. And Les, for all the people out there that don't think that our president is doing his job, I'm going to tell you, there's this an American research group on Monday claimed that North Korea has begun dismantling its main missile engine test site. That's a sign that Pyongyang over there, that's the capital over in North Korea, is fulfilling their promise Kim Jong-un made to President Trump at that summit over in Singapore last month. So people said that it was no good. This man, this Korean thing. Nobody's done anything for over 50 years. President Trump comes along. He defies everything. He meets with Kim Jong-un. Now we're on the verge of possible peace with this once hostile nation that we had no political contact with, Les. No political ties.
It's going to happen, Donald. I've had a good feeling about this all along. I had my hand on the pulse of this at all times. I've been watching this. I've been keeping up with this. And I really feel that this is the end of the line for the communist regime of North Korea. As it is, I believe that now what may happen, Donald, is they may go the way of Vietnam. Now, Vietnam is it's a socialist country. However, the people, they got jobs, they work, they've got some freedom. Under that government, they're still a long way from like the American people, but they've been treated better, and America has pumped billions of dollars into that after the Vietnam War. Excuse me, to try to rebuild that country and bring it up to an economic state. The thing about Vietnam, Donald, there's private-owned businesses in Vietnam, and that's what makes any kind of economy work, is a privately owned business. I'm sure it's monitored, but we have...
you're talking about capitalism. We're talking about a little bit of America. But the bad thing about all that is we went and we tried to stop the spread of communism in Vietnam. We tried to stop the spread of communism in Korea. And now what do we have right here in America? The United States of America, we have politicians that are actually communists. I cannot believe this. I mean, we fought, how many men died to stop the spread of communism? And we'll get to President Putin. We'll get to Vladimir Putin here in a little bit. But Les, do you remember Julius and Ethel Rosenberg? Do you remember them too?
Yeah.
Back in the 50s, they were convicted of conspiring to pass U.S. atomic secrets to the Soviets. Yes. Yeah, you're right. They were executed at Sing Sing prison. Now this happened, like I said, back in the 50s. Now listen to this, Les. The Denver Post published a letter to the editor suggesting President Trump should be executed for treason. This letter said that Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed for far less. That is so absurd. President Trump treason. It blows me away. It blows me away.
Well, it's just like during the Vietnam War. Once again, back to that was all the propaganda, and the same thing in World War II. You go back and you look at all the radio people that spread propaganda. Some of them was Americans, Donald. And
you're right, brother.
Some of them was Japanese Americans. Some of them was Americans. And Tokyo Rose. I'm sure you remember that. But now the mainstream media, these people here are pure fools, Donald. I tell you what, the journalism's dead, brother. It's dead and gone. There's not one of them worth their salt. Not one of them fit to be a so-called journalist. And
Well, then more than
propaganda.
95%, more than 95% of what you hear on the news is negative against the leader of the free world.
Right.
You want to talk about the leader of the free world? CNN, they come out with this thing here a few days ago, and they said he is no longer the leader of the free world. If President Trump is not the leader of the free world, can you tell me who is? Can you tell me who the leader of the free world is if President Trump isn't?
Donald, here's the thing. They remind me of a drowning man. You know,
grabbing for straws.
They're just grabbing at anything to try to save themselves. These people are communists, Donald. Your mainstream media, they lied for years, saying, no, we're not biased. We're right down the middle of the road. They lied since Walter Cronkite, or even further back than that. They've lied about who they are. Now they've been exposed. They know they've been exposed, so now they don't even try to hide it, Donald. Look at your talk shows that you have today.
We'll get to that too, that View and a lot of these other shows. Yes, you're right, Les.
These people are just, it's a demonic thought process, Donald. This stuff goes deeper.
It is demonic.
To me, it's deeper than just your average mind blown, and you've blown a fuse. And thinking stupid. These people they're bordering on Satanism in my book, and where I come from, brother, that's what I believe, Donald. These people are evil. E-V-I-L, brother. They are evil.
And for all the listeners out there, Les Skymo is a preacher, you guys. He is a preacher. Les has his own show on Wednesday nights on Armed Radio at 7 p.m. Eastern Time called Unscheduled, if you want to hear more of Les tomorrow night. But Les, yesterday, during this panel discussion in New York, Senator Gillibrand, I made a video of this yesterday, Senator Gillibrand from New York said if the Democrats gain control of Congress, I guess he's referring to the 2018 midterm elections, the first thing we should do is get rid of ICE. Now, how can you get rid of an agency that goes around and collects illegal aliens up from this country? And that's not all, Les.
Oh,
she also, she said they should look at immigration as a humanitarian issue. Les, we've got homeless people in this country, homeless vets. How can you look at immigration as a humanitarian issue? Humanitarian, we need to think about being humanitarian to their own people first. America first, just like President Trump. America first. They think he is so bad. And another thing, she said, Gillibrand, she was talking about we need to pass gun reform issues. No, we don't need to pass any more gun reform issues. We have too many gun laws on the book as there is, Les.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just like that mayor up there in Toronto after that shooting up there they just had. And that's the first thing out of his mouth. And now, I don't know what the regulations are to own a handgun. I was under the impression that it was illegal to own a handgun in Canada, period. Now, I don't know where this guy got it from, but now I know they use long guns up there for hunting and stuff.
Probably shotguns, yeah.
Yeah, but the first thing out of his mouth was to come against guns. Donald, you know what the problem was with that shooting? None of the civilians, none of the other people, the public had a gun to stop this nonsense. There's only one way to stop a bad guy with a gun.
And
that's a good guy with a gun.
Absolutely, I agree 100%, my friend.
You know, Donald, as soon as you think that you've heard and seen all the stupid that there is, these people come up with more crap. You know, the ICE officers nabbed 132 illegal
I was reading
immigrants.
It, yes.
Yeah, in the Washington metropolitan region, in our enforcement sweep this month, including a high-ranking MS-13 member, a convicted child rapist, and other serious criminals. Donald, the ICE agents, they haven't been around that long, but they're a buffer, okay, between us and these bad guys.
We can't get rid of the Democrats think we can just get, what do they want to do? Get rid of the border agents too? Do they just want an open border system?
That's what they want, yeah. They're globalists, Donald. They're globalists.
But here's something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, real quick, as long as we have a system to where we can vote, they're going to try to corrupt it. They're going to try to put illegals in to vote. And you've seen what they done Where was that? Boston or somewhere now where they got these illegals voting?
Yeah, and I think it's happening in San Francisco, too. I believe it's happening in San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah. And, but this is ridiculous, Donald. It's utter stupidity.
Well, I'll tell you something that's very important to me, Les, and I knew this was going to happen. This past Sunday, the president of Iran, I think you pronounce his name Hassan Rouhani, he threatened the United States, saying in a speech, he said, Mr. Trump, don't play with the lion's tail. This would only lead to regret. Then he said, America should know that peace with Iran is the mother of all peace, and war with Iran is the mother of all wars. Then that same night, President Trump responded with a tweet, Les, and it was all in caps. Now, I'm going to read this to everybody out there.
Baby, yeah.
It was all in caps. This was to the Iranian president, Rouhani. That's how you pronounce his name. I'm not good with Muslim names. I don't speak Arabic, whatever you call it, Arabic or Muslim. But here's what President Trump had to say in cap locks. Now, this is a great president, I think. He said, and I quote, "Never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Period. Be cautious." Now, those are very powerful words. Now, listen, Les, this takes me back right before Obama. It wasn't long before he left his presidency. I remember 2 planes landing in Iran that were full of money, and this is only my opinion, and you can elaborate on this if you want to, but everybody says that we sold Russia, uranium, but I also, in my opinion, I think Iran got some uranium too, brother. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, it's not proven. That's my own opinion. Now, now they got to have something. Now, we only have 9 nuclear countries in the world right now. Iran is not supposed to be one of them, but I would bet you, now this is only me, I bet you they do have nuclear weapons, or they wouldn't be making threats like that against the biggest nation, the most powerful nation in the world.
Well, you remember when the Iranian little boat pulled up on one of our ships out there and made our Navy look so bad because they couldn't do nothing but stand down?
Well, they're a rich country now. Why, Les?
When Obama was president. But I'll tell you what, man, Rouhani has threatened to block the Strait of Hormuz, where the oil imports come and go. And I tell you what, brother, I don't think they'll be humiliating our Navy anymore. I think those days are over, brother, because I believe we got a man with some backbone. There's like 18.5 million barrels of oil that travel every day through that waterway. And believe you me, brother, President Trump is not going to allow them to block that waterway.
Well, I'll tell you what, Les, Iran is not dealing with Obama anymore. That we both know that.
That's
and Les,
over.
This is something very important. Now, I sent you this article, Les. Now, you're going to have to help me with this a little bit. Now,
all right, buddy.
This is this Judicial Watch. This came out on a DML app. This is Truth News. They released 224 pages of documents containing nearly 1,000 summaries of significant incident reports. They call them SIRs from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, revealing that unaccompanied alien children, they call them UACs, processed during the Obama administration included admitted murderers, rapists, drug smugglers, prostitutes, and human traffickers. Now remember, this happened during a 6-month period back in 2014. This stuff's just now coming out, and there's some more that says in this, and there's a lot more to it. And after I'm done, I want you to elaborate on this.
Yeah.
And there were some U.S. government contractors and employees allegedly assaulted or had sexual relationships with some of these unaccompanied alien children. Now, keep in mind, this stuff was taking place under the Obama administration again. I want everybody to remember this. Not under the Trump administration, but under the Obama administration. Now there's so much more that went on, Les. And if you read that article a little bit better than me, can you elaborate on what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's several pages of it, Donald. And, I have watched tapes and articles, read articles about the pedophilia that Clinton's has been involved in, and other high-ranking members of the government, some of their associates. I take all that with a grain of salt, brother, but I believe there's a lot of things I do believe. And I know that Clinton's and Obama administration, they run a mafia-type money laundering organization. They run a criminal organization. And, I just wonder how much they profited off of this. They interviewed these people, Donald, and talked to these kids, and there's a male UAC undocumented
alien child
at the BCFS shelter in Fairfield, California, and admitted that he was forced to kill while working for the Gulf cartel in Mexico. Another UAC being cared for at the Heartland International RC facility reported that he had been an MS-13 gang member for a year before coming to the United States. And
he was admitted. He was admitted, right?
Yes, these people have been admitted into this country. Now, I don't know, Donald, how they got this information out of them, but when they was interviewed, they spilled their guts.
I'll tell you one thing, Les. You won't hear about this on CNN. You will not hear about this on CNN or most of the major networks. I doubt even a Fox will tell you about these documents that came out.
I've never heard it on there. And here's another one. A male UAC at the Baptist Child and Family Services shelter in Baytown, Texas, said he'd worked as a human smuggler, charging $6,000 to $8,000 per person. He crossed into the United States.
Come on in.
Yeah. A female UAC at the same place, the BCFS shelter in Laughlin Air Force Base, was alleged by other UACs to be the daughter of a coyote, a human smuggler, and reportedly was passing information to her father via telephone from the shelter, Donald. They're working from these shelters.
It's horrible.
Still doing their illegal activity. And most of these kids that come in here don't have parents with them, Donald.
Yeah, they're human. They're bringing it. The smugglers are bringing them into this country.
Yes.
People using them for sex slaves. It's horrible. And it's not Donald Trump. And those pictures they showed with all those kids in cages, those were pictures back during the Obama administration.
Exactly.
And Les, I'm telling you, a lot of people in this country right now, I had a man look at me yesterday at the fair because I was wearing a Trump shirt.
Yeah.
He said, boy, the farmers in this country sure wouldn't like that. But I'll tell you what, right now, Trump's got this kind of he's got some kind of plan that he's going to aid these farmers and, that got hurt by these tariffs.
Right.
I know he put a lot of, but the Chinese has been taking advantage of this country for so long, Les. President Trump has to put these tariffs on them.
Yeah.
He's done. Yeah. He's a businessman, Les.
Right.
That's why we elected this man.
Well, tariffs has always been a way to ensure fair trade. And
why didn't Obama do it? Why didn't Obama put tariffs on?
Why didn't the rest of the Republicans? You know why, Donald? It's because they wanted to be friends with everybody, so they let them suck our resources out of the faucet. It just never ending. They wanted to keep kicking the can on down the road. They didn't want to do the hard lifting. They just wanted to go along to get along. That's why the EU, that we was paying the bill for the EU. That's why we was paying the bill for NATO, is they just go along to get along. Oh, don't insult our enemies, and that's just, this is a $12 billion aid to the farmers, an aid package, Donald. And if these farmers will just keep their cool and just chill out, this thing's going to work, because you know why? Brother, because China has to eat, buddy. How many millions of people do they have? They get grain and they get stuff from us they can't get nowhere else in the
You're
world,
right,
brother.
Les.
They're going to be forced to their knees. Let them play their stupid little game, and their people's going to be killing and eating one another in no time at all. So a lot of this is rhetoric, Donald. A lot of this is and some of the Republicans. What kills me is these stupid Republicans, and some of them are these never-Trumpers. Once again, they just like a drowning man. They're just freaking out because, oh God, I'm not going to get elected. I'm not going to get my cushy job where I can get all my millions from all these the big businessmen and all these whatever you call them people. But the big donors. This is nonsense, Donald. This is trumped up fear, and I hate to even use President Trump's name. This is phony fear.
You're right.
That these people that are up for election and the Republicans alike, brother, are freaking out over this. And I can tell the farmers right now, farmers, nobody loves you more than the American people, but just keep cool. Just stay calm.
Things will turn around.
President Trump has your back. These Chinese people, the stuff they get, that's like the American lobster fishermen. They're starting to panic a little bit. And China, God, I forget how many billions and billions of dollars in lobster that the Chinese eat. But let me tell you, folks, calm down. Take a deep breath. These people have to eat, brother. They get stuff from us, Donald, that they can't get nowhere else. We feed the world, brother.
They've got
Take a deep
billion.
breath.
They've got over 1 billion people in China. You know, our country.
Calm down.
Our country has less than 500 million. We're a little over 300 million. We've got a big country less. Now, this is something that me and you was talking about on the phone.
We feed the world, Donald. We feed the world.
And think, like you said, if they calm down, I'm gonna now.
Calm down.
Now listen, Les. This is just something I came up with. I talked to you about this the other night. Now, people, please don't think I'm crazy. Now, I don't think this will ever happen. I don't think it should happen. But if America, this country, the United States, if we really wanted to, Les, I talked about this the other night to you, and I'm going to ask you this. If we wanted to, which it wouldn't be a good thing to do, we need allies and stuff, we could close our borders, we could become a recluse country. I don't think there's anything that we actually need from another country. The only thing I could think of would be maybe some plants that we use for medicine, but we could probably grow that ourselves. You guys, we make our own cars. I'm just saying that we could sustain ourselves as a country without any foreign help if we had to, Les. If we had to.
We can, Donald, and let me tell you something.
They need us more than we need them, Les.
Our trade is for their benefit, not ours. You seen how quick we pulled ourselves up by the bootstraps when we was attacked by two countries, Japan and Germany, when we went into war
let's
with
get
Germany.
into that, Les. You brought up a good point there.
Yeah.
Our country was set up to fight 2 wars. Under the Obama administration, if a major war would have broke out, I don't think we could have fought 1 war under Obama. President Trump came in, and he the first thing he started doing was rebuilding our military, Les. That man has done everything right. People they think the world's coming to an end because he met with President Vladimir Putin from Russia. I'm going to tell you, yeah, Russia, they may be kind of an enemy, they may be kind of an enemy, but you can't go over there. The leader of the free world can't go to the second superpower in the world and start a war. Does the liberals want us to start a war with Vladimir Putin and Russia? Is that what they want?
They don't want that to succeed, Donald. They don't want success in Korea. These socialists, the communists, they don't, in this country, the Democratic Party, what I'm talking about, and some of the never-Trumpers, these liberal Republicans, they don't want this to happen, brother. They don't want peace. They don't want things to calm down in North Korea because they can't have their way if that happens. They can't come into power if that happens. And it's not about America to them people, Donald. It's not about minding your family. It's not about the children. It's about these warp-minded liberals and power. That's all it's about.
You're right, but that's my question to you. Has it came down to money and power, Les? Has it came down to money and power? There's people willing to sell our country out for money and power.
Yes, they are.
Sell our country out. Now that's treason. That's the definition of freaking treason, and I'm not cussing. That's
and the media is treasonous too, Donald. They all need rounded up and
weaponized.
tried.
It's a weaponized media.
It's weaponized. And look what's going on right now. You know what I'm concerned about, Donald? How many of these deep state FBI agents and these DOJ agents and all these in the deep state, Hillary Clinton's and Barack Obama's, the Kenyan, how many of these people are going to get away and walk scot-free because all they want's a dog and pony show to make people look like they're concerned when they have these hearings on television?
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about. I want somebody, brother, to go to prison. I want several of them to go to prison.
They need to hang. Some of them need to hang for treason. They're calling for our president to be hung for treason. They're the ones that need to be hung for treason because they have committed so much treason against this country, Les. And I'll tell you, it's so bad right now, Les. I don't think that if John F. Kennedy was alive today, he was a Democrat. I don't think he would be a Democrat. They wouldn't consider him a Democrat. They would not have considered John F. Kennedy a Democrat today.
Well, let me ask you something, Donald. They say, well, who do you trust? I watched Phil Robinson talk about this the other night. He said, who do you trust more, Putin or the FBI? Neither one of them. Neither one of them. They're both liars and scoundrels and low downs.
Well, most of them are leftovers, like you said, from Obama, Clinton years.
You think I'm going to trust an FBI, a Department of Justice, or a CIA that's doing what they're doing to President Trump right now? And my answer is neither one of the skunks am I going to put my trust and confidence in, brother, until that rat hole is cleaned out and them coyotes is thrown out of there. But I tell you what, it's probably too late, Donald. I never did trust government much to start with.
I know you did.
Because I know power brings corruption, and you're seeing it at the worst right now, brother. People need to go to prison for life, maybe even executed for what they're doing right now in our own federal government.
They're calling for President Trump to be executed. These freaks are. Les, and this whole Michael Cohen issue. Yeah. You know, Les, I'm going to tell you the truth. What happened to lawyer or attorney-client privilege in this country? And this whole Michael Cohen thing, I don't care what President Trump did back in 2006. That's almost 11, 12 years ago. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And this thing they're doing, it's against the law, Les. A lawyer cannot sit and tape you, a client. A lawyer can't tell things that your client told him. That's illegal. They don't care about the law, Les. Oh, God, there's another thing, Les. There's so much I want to talk to you about tonight. It is... What is that? What's that noise? Is that you? Oh,
that's not a bone gasket.
Hey, there was a poll, Les. There's a poll going around on DML right now. Yeah. And I think it's should they abolish the 14th Amendment? Now you know what amendment that is. That was done after the Civil War, I believe. That gives people citizenship status that are born here. Now think about it, Les. Now here's my opinion. Now I don't believe we should mess with the Constitution, but I'll give you my opinion on the 14th Amendment.
Our founding fathers made a way for it to be amended properly.
Well, I think they're misusing that because if two people come from another country illegally and they have a child, though their child should not be a legal resident of this country, they broke the law, Les. We have laws in this country. But the Democratic Party don't seem to care about the laws. Sanctuary cities, Les, it is against the law to harbor a fugitive. And that's what these mayors are doing in these cities, Les. It's terrible.
It is. That amendment to the Constitution, Donald, was to make
it was about slavery.
Slave babies That was to make them American citizens, is what that was about. That's been abused. There's lies been going around. I tell you, Donald, there's trickery. There's watch the left hand and the right hand don't know what it's doing. I mean, however you want to talk about it, Donald, and it's very frustrating to see how our laws is twisted and manipulated, how the Obamas and how the Clintons has padded these courts with these liberal federal judges.
Appellate courts. Oh, Lord.
Well, brother, let me tell you something. The stinking Republicans is just as guilty as the Democrats because they could have stopped that crap, but they let them put them right on. They voted for them to go along to get along, and they get stabbed in the back every time. You remember Bush Sr. read my lips? That was
no more taxes.
Hey.
But, there goes back to these primaries, Les. These primaries, that's why they're so important. That gives us the good conservatives to vote for.
Yes.
But people don't get out here and vote. I'm telling you, if you don't vote, they're going to win. They're going to take our country over. We won't have a capitalistic country. We won't have a republic anymore. We will live in a communist country. That's the end game. That's the utopia they're looking for, Les. Right. I do believe that to my soul, brother.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to go to Texas for a minute. Donald Trump, the rules and regulations, EPA things, the stuff he signed away by executive order, it was said the other day that the state of Texas could be as rich as OPEC, could be as rich in oil as the Middle East. Now, don't tell me we can't be self-sufficient.
We got our own energy.
Close our business. If we had to fence this whole country in, brother, we could survive. We could make the adjustment, man. We could get by. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see it come to that.
I don't either.
It's good. It's good to have allies, Donald.
If it's fair.
But if it's fair. But just going back to the Chinese, starve them down, brother, to on their bellies.
They'll pay.
If you have to.
They'll pay.
I am all for a trade war if that's what it takes to bring these other countries into subjection to what's right. That's all we're doing. Donald, it's not punishment just to be punishing them. These people are taking advantage of us. This crap needs to stop, and if we have to starve them to death, brother, then that's just how it's going to have to be. Just like when Nebuchadnezzar surrounded Jerusalem, he built forts around there and waited them out. It took 1.5 years for him to wait the Jews out of Jerusalem. Now, this is way back by Old Testament, but he waited them out, brother, and starved them out, and they come out with their hands up, man. And that's what we're going to have to do. That's fine with me, brother.
Well, and let's back to the Trump meeting with Vladimir Putin. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders, there's the communist himself. He's running his mouth about Trump meeting with Putin. Now, he said he wondered what the millions of Americans have risked their lives to defend democracy, first of all, the start of democracy, would think about the president's pathetic performance in Finland. Now, this is coming from a guy who once called for a 50-cent reduction in defense spending, and another thing Sanders is also outraged over, Trump's supposedly too friendly relationship with the Russian leader. Now, this Vermont senator chose to spend his honeymoon in the Soviet Union. What a hypocrite! What a hypocrite this man is!
And then they try to say they're not socialists. Baloney. They're claiming to be democratic socialists. No such thing, Donald. These people are communists. And see, here's the thing. When he sets at the UN, when he sets at the table with the UE and EU, and he's sticking his finger in his face, and he's asking Germany, what the heck are you doing buying oil and natural gas? What the heck is that?
Les, I've got a call coming. You think we will take a call? We'll take it.
I'll cool down.
Hello. Thanks for calling all aboard. Can I get your first name and what state you're calling from, please?
Chris from Louisiana.
Oh, it's Chris. What's up, Chris? Make it quick, because me and Les is on a roll, buddy.
All right, man. I just want to say one thing, man. We got to get out there and vote.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying, Chris.
Midterm elections.
You're right, buddy. You're right. Chris, me and Les is in a heated up conversation. Thank you for calling, buddy. There's the Louisiana man right there, Chris Witchwater.
The
Thanks for
Gator
calling,
man.
buddy. Yeah, the Louisiana man. But anyway, let's go to this. I want to talk a little bit about Judge Janine Pirro.
Yeah,
she
but
did
let me
not.
say this: for Pelosi's full of crap, and so is Bernie Sanders.
You're absolutely right, and so is Maxine Crazy Water.
Kerosene water.
But anyway, Les, she
Yeah,
Janine,
I
Judge
seen
Janine,
that clip. Yeah, I seen it. Disgusting.
she did not deserve to be talked to. No, this was after the segment was over. Whoopi Goldberg pointed in her face and was saying, "Get the F out of here, the F this, F that." You know what? The View.
Yeah.
They're nothing but a bunch of has-beens that never was.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to watch Whoopi's movies. You couldn't pay me to sit and watch The View either, Les.
Well,
Now,
she's of Judge Janine's of a Middle Eastern descent, and I'm gonna say it on here. Whoopi Goldberg, been a black woman herself, called Judge Janine a sand nigger. Said, "Get out of here, sand nigger."
That's
you believe
terrible.
that?
No,
Yeah,
it's horrible.
yeah.
Unless there's this group of these there's just supposed to be these far-right protesters. They plan to demonstrate outside of Representative Maxine Waters' district office there in South Los Angeles, but they didn't show up, okay? This was last Thursday afternoon. But dozens of counter-protesters did. Now, these are the Democrats. These people, they supported Maxine Waters. And they took an American flag off the back of this truck that was passing by. They stopped him, stole his flag, and they burned it. They burned it. They was chanting Black Power as they burned that flag. Someone yelled out, "This is not the American flag. This is their flag. This is our flag." Okay. Now this kind of stuff sickens me. They need to enforce the flag code.
Right,
and then Maxine, she tried to apologize. Now listen to what she said. She said that she didn't agree with them burning the flag, but she understands our Constitution gives them that right. So basically, she was condoning them burning that flag. Les.
She was.
She was condoning it, man.
That's one of the biggest fat mouth liars that I ever seen. Demonic. She's full of the devil, just like the rest of them are, Donald. And I tell you what, she's all for that stuff. And
why do they even vote for her? Why?
I don't understand it. I can't. I tell you what, I watch these tapes called, there's a movement going on right now talking about, it's called the Walk Away movement. And
you know, they're over 100,000 strong right now.
I love them videos.
That's people are making these videos about why they converted over to be Republicans. But there's a good story I want to talk about here. I think you know about it. Now, at this recent speech in South Africa, Obama was over there. He was running his big mouth about rich people. Now, here's what he was saying. There's only so much you can eat. There's only so many nice trips you can take, and there's only so big a house you can have. Now, after the speech calling for rich people to get smaller houses, Obama traveled back to America to his $8.1 million 8-bedroom, 9.5 bathroom mansion, and he lives in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the world. And I'll tell you what. There's a wall. There's a little wall around Obama's house.
Oh, yeah.
Now, believe that.
Secret Service with guns too.
Now, yes. Now, they're against guns, but they sure want people protecting them with guns, don't they?
It's the same thing as Castro. It's the same thing with every communist and socialist country.
They're just hypocrites.
Exactly. That's all they are. That's all they are is Castros, little Fidel Castros.
Now, Les, I know there's a lot of good people over in Britain, England, whatever you want to call it. England. But when President Trump went to Britain a couple weeks ago, I got so mad the way a lot of those people were treated him. Just like here in our country. There's a lot of people over that has Trump derangement syndrome. Now, you know about 250,000 people took to the streets of London to protest President Trump's visit to the United Kingdom. Now, Les, that is the leader of the free world, and they have a right to do that. And they had this big balloon that was blown up that looked like President Trump wearing a diaper. So
I seen it.
disrespectful. Now, Les, the UK, I'm going to talk about the UK. Now, that consists of England, what is it, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize that the United States is like 40 times larger than the UK put together? We have 4 states in this country, Les, that are actually bigger than the whole UK.
Right.
Now, why are these people disrespecting the American president? Why, Les? Why would these...
And on top of that, Donald, they can't hardly even feed themselves. Look at the shambles that their dang financial system's in. They should be some of the wealthiest people on the planet. But you know, all these social programs they have, now they're bringing in millions of refugees that are raping their women and raping their little girls and
they have
murdering
nothing to
them.
protect themselves with except for knives.
And
cutlery.
You know, and then they want to bash the United States. But now, on the upside of that, Donald, I did see a rally for Trump. There was hundreds. I don't know how many of them.
Well, that's why I said now. That's why I said not all people are bad, but they do have a lot of people with Trump derangement syndrome. Now, I want to tell everybody out there that's listening to this show tonight, for everybody out there that has Trump derangement syndrome, there's a new drug coming out, and it's going to be in a pharmacy near you soon. And it's called Trumpicillin. Get yourself a dose of Trumpicillin. Get over it and get with the program. Get with America. Get with your country. And stop worrying about foreigners. Worry about your country first. Then when we get our country taken care of, then we may start worrying about other countries a little bit less.
Well, let me ask you this, Donald. How in this world, well, you got little children in your school, you got children, your own children that you're having to take and provide for, and when they get old enough, you want them to have good and decent jobs. What kind of person are you when you put MS-13 and when you putting all these illegals ahead of your own people, brother, ahead of your own children?
You know what, Les? These rich people, though. These rich Democrats, they put their kids in special schools. They go to like these big rich schools. Now, they don't care about us, the poor people. Our kids have to go to school with these people. Our kids have to deal with these people. These rich people, they don't have to deal with them, Les.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And a lot of people are upset. They're talking about money when it comes to this. Our president, President Trump, he's wanting to have a military parade. What's wrong with the United States having a military parade, Les? Let's do it. Let's show our power to the rest of the world. It's time we show our power.
Hey, let me tell you something, brother.
We waste our money on everything else. Let's show the world what we have.
I don't think it'd be a waste, Donald, because you can't do enough to honor the men and women that's dying.
Well, you're right. It's the Democrats that are calling it a waste of money, though.
Yeah.
And another thing, Les, what do you think about President Trump wanting to change the Air Force One? He's wanting to paint them red, white, and blue.
I love
the new ones coming out. I think it's excellent.
Let's do it.
There'll be people complaining about that too. They will.
Oh yeah. Well, they're saying the thing about that parade, Donald. Oh, that's just like a dictator. That's just like a
They're saying he's going to be like a dick. No, it's time. It's time we show the world what we have. I know they had one back during the Persian Gulf War, and we used to have them after wars. But we haven't. We need one. It's time. Unless we got like 5 minutes, Les. Les, I want to say this to all the people out there that don't think America is the greatest place on this planet. I have 7 indespicable reasons why America is the greatest country on earth, Les. I'm going to read these to you if you don't mind, Les.
No,
Number one, America treats their tired, their poor, their huddled masses better than anyone else. Number 2, we have the best educational system in the world. Number 3, Americans are safer than any other people in the world. Number 4, no country is less racist than the United States, and that's a fact, Les.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Number 5,
Absolutely.
Americans live longer, happier lives than anyone else. Number 6, no one is more free to challenge tyranny than Americans. Number 7, we're the freest people in the world. No one is more free than the U.S. Freedom, baby. Freedom.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and you know something too, Donald? This is the only country I know of that you can honestly become a billionaire. and do it without screwing everybody and their brother to get there. Just ask Donald Trump. I don't believe the man's got even a piece of dirty lint on him. I think he's clean as a whistle.
I mean, he might have had, I don't know if he had these little sexual
I ain't none of my business,
He's a billionaire, you know, and I can't sit there and say you expect it out of billionaires, but that's between him, his wife, and God.
It never happened in the Oval Office.
Never happened in the Oval
while
Office.
he's a president, and I don't care.
Les,
That's
did you hear
between him and the Lord.
Did you hear about Israel? They shot down this Syrian fighter jet that entered their Israeli. I'll tell you what,
it's about
Israel.
time.
Now, Les, I've got another little list here. I think I got 3 minutes. I can get through this. Now, I have a list of the 11 most powerful militaries in the world. I'll start at number 11 and work my way up. Okay, Les?
Yep.
Number 11, Israel. 10, Japan. 9, South Korea. 8, Turkey. 7, Germany. 6, France. 5, the United Kingdom. 4, India. 3, China. 2, Russia. 1, the United States. And there again, that's why I go back and say, why would President Trump want to meet with Vladimir Putin and start war? Yeah, I'll tell you what, Les, a war with Vladimir Putin and the Russians, you can't win that. There's not going to be a boots on the ground war. That would be somebody who was ever losing is going to use nuclear missiles. Nobody wins in a war like that, Les. And I'll tell you another thing about all this stupid Russian collusion we've been hearing about since our president became president. I'll tell you about that really quick, Les. If the Russians wanted anybody to win that election, it's my opinion that they would have tried to help Hillary Clinton and not a man like Donald Trump that was going to build our military. I am sick and tired of hearing about Russian collusion. Les, you go ahead and take it. We got 2 minutes left. Just go ahead and take it.
All right, I got 2 minutes left. Hey, Donald, you're absolutely right. This is phony anger. They get on the president. All he was trying to do was be diplomatic when he was over there at Russia. That's all. When he's talking to Putin, was all he was trying to do, be diplomatic. And on the other hand, when he gets in their face and tells them to pay up, they criticize that. The man can't win. So hey, President Trump.
I better say one more thing before I end this and let you end it. But anyway, I don't know if you know this, but Trump's approval rating reached a record high in a new poll. His approval mark rose to 45% in a Wall Street Journal NBC poll. Believe that? After the Putin meeting, Democrats, take that. His approval rating went up, so there you go.
Hey, man, hey, wake up, people. Today is a time when you need to choose sides. You want communism or do you want freedom?
Les, do you believe it comes down to a battle between good and evil? Honestly, I do believe it's come between good and evil. You're a preacher. You would know, Les.
This is Bible prophecy, and it all depends on what the people do, Donald. Bible prophecy is conditional. What's the people going to do? This is what, it's bad if you don't do the right thing, and it's good if you do the good thing. It's up to the people. Let's wake up, people, and do the right thing.
Well, there it goes back again. We've got to get out here and vote, Les. I cannot stress to every state, not just Ohio, every state in this country, you got to get up and vote or they're going to take over. They're going to win. And our children and grandchildren, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer, Les, if we don't fight for them today, Les. And I want to be here to fight for our children. You made a video the other day. You said, what is your grandson going to do? Look at you when he gets older and said, Papa, why didn't you try to fight for me? Why didn't you try to make this a better place?
Wrap it up. I got...
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Let's say goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye. All right, Jimmy, just now hit me. We got a minute left or what?